Hey guys, how are you? Andy Sukafana, CEO Y2K Credit Solutions. So today's topic has to do about judgments and how it can affect you from purchasing a home, how it can affect you with a bank levy, wage garnishment. And this is very important because the reason why we're doing this video is because a lot of people are looking to purchase a home now, right? Rates are a little high, prices are coming down in certain states. People are trying to do investment properties, whatever kind of real estate transaction you're trying to do. A lot of people are trying to do it now, and they have judgments that was 10 years ago that they neglected to take care of, that's been sitting in the court, right? Of credit card accounts, and other debts that they had that was not resolved. And once it goes into public record, once it goes into court, it becomes public record. When you're purchasing a home, your underwriter is going to run your social and your name to public records to see what judgment has, or if you have any judgments out there. Now, the reason why they're doing that, because the bank don't want to issue a mortgage, then the court becomes first position and gets put a lien against the property, right? So they make you resolve the judgment before you go to closing. So here's what happens. Let's say you had a credit card for Citibank. You had a credit card for $10,000 in 2008. We're going to use New York. 2008. It was in collections, charge off. You didn't resolve it. You neglected it. Understand that a lot of time it stays in your credit report, and the statute of limitation is two different things, right? So, well, actually, kind of not. In New York, it's 7 years statute of limitation. It comes off your credit report. But what happens is right before the statute of limitation comes to an end, most companies will send the debt to an attorney, law firm or office. That's a law firm in the front face, a collection agency in the back, right? So the face of the company is a law firm. They can do judgments, bank levies, whatever, or tenant landlord, whatever the attorney office laws, whatever services they specialize in. It's like, let's say the law firm of Rubin and Rothman. You guys know them. They're big in New York. They're big on Long Island. They're out in Center Reach, Long Island. They do a lot of credit card judgments, right? So Rubin and Rothman, Malin Associate. There's a slew of Stiliano. There's a slew of them, and Weinberg that are out there that do these judgments. So the creditor is going to go, all right, you didn't pay the debt. They try to resolve it with you. The third-party collection agency try to resolve it with you. Then send it to an attorney. Let's obtain a judgment. Judgments are renewable for 2 times every 10 years. All right. So let's say you have a judgment that was filed in 2010. You didn't take care of it. It's not on your credit report. And judgments do not show on your credit report. A law was passed in 2017 where judgments, public records, bankruptcy do not show on your credit report. So now you try to go buy a house, and the judgment just got renewed. So it started 2010, statute of limitation is 10 years. So 2020, they renewed the judgment again in 2020. How a lot of these companies are renewing judgments, and these attorneys are renewing judgments is because they use a system called Skip Trace. Now, in their system database, if you're applying for a car loan, you're applying for a credit card, they get alerted of activities that you're doing on your credit to the inquiry on your credit report. So they're notified, so they know that, oh, you're actively buying something. So if for some odd reason they forgot to renew the judgment, that alert is what's going to make them renew it. So really, realistically, someone is always watching your credit. Someone's always, especially when you owe them money. Remember that. Someone's always watching your credit. So now the judgment comes, 2020 is coming around, the judgment's not renewed, but there's a mortgage inquiry on your credit report in 2018-19. That puts the case back on the calendar to remind them that the judgment's going to come to resolution, but they need to renew it in order to enforce it again. They renew the judgment in court. Now that judgment on your credit report for another 10 years. Not your credit report, sorry, public records for another 10 years. I said credit report because I talk about credit reports all the time, but I meant court, public records. Sorry about that. So now you go buy a house. You're trying to get a mortgage. Sorry, you're trying to purchase a home. You go through your mortgage process, get to desktop underwriting. They start doing underwriting. They start to do their research on you, go through all your documents, your paperwork you submitted, W-2, tax return, whatever. Then they run you to public records. Oh, here comes a judgment. right there and then your process is halted. You have to resolve that judgment before you can proceed with the mortgage. And a lot of you guys, because judgments are not shown on your credit reports, a lot of you guys have judgments that you think don't exist, and they do exist. So you always want to make sure that if you have a judgment or you're not sure, you go to the civil court. And civil court is up to $5,000. Supreme Court is up to $20,000. Supreme Court, you cannot self-represent yourself. Civil court, you can self-represent yourself. But these attorneys are so good at what they do, they tie you up in court that you end up losing, right? This is why we represent clients in court for judgments as well. Well, not me, Y2K does, right? Our firm does. But anyway, before you go purchase a home, you want to make sure you go to down to the courthouse, run your name and social to the system, and it's free, to make sure you don't have any public records outstanding. Because if you do, you want to resolve that, especially if you're doing like an FHA loan and you're asking for a seller's concession, and the money is not 100% there. There's no reserves, or there's little reserves. You don't want to have to, at the closing or when you're going through the process, this pops up and then you have to find money to pay this debt before you can proceed, and then you stand a chance of losing your down payment and so forth. So these are the things you want to do when purchasing a home. But also, judgments are very, very relevant. They're out there. Courts are open now, and I said this over and over and over and over again. COVID courts were closed. Things were moving at a very slow pace. We're not in COVID anymore. Courts are fully open. And at first, courts were focused on tenant landlord stuff, but now that seems to be easing up, and they go back to consumer judgments and so forth. So just some information on judgments. If you have any questions, comment, drop it below, and I'll get back to you. Talk to you soon.